things hit fast, Reactant acts fast.
Good morning, Toronto. Welcome back to BT on this Thursday. Devo, Tammy, Sid here with you. All right, let's get back to the Harry and Meghan story from yesterday. For those who missed it, their representatives put out a statement after we went off air yesterday saying that they were involved in a high-speed paparazzi chase for 2 hours through the streets of New York after an event Tuesday night. It read this way: the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Miss Ragland were involved in a near-catastrophic car chase. Miss Ragland, Meghan's mom, near-catastrophic car chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. This relentless pursuit, lasting over 2 hours, resulted in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and 2 New York City police officers. Some things to say before we run the clip of the Mayor, Eric Adams of New York. There was no accident, thankfully. No one was hurt, thankfully. No complaints were filed with the police department. No charges have been laid. Nothing really was put in an official sense. This is what Eric Adams, the Mayor of New York, said about that statement yesterday.
It would be horrific to lose an innocent bystander during a chase like this, and something to have happened to them as well. So I think we have to be extremely responsible. I would find it hard to believe that there was a 2-hour high-speed chase. That would be, I find it hard to believe, but we will find out the exact duration of it.
So as the story developed through the day, Devo, and we learned more, I got the sense, and I know online isn't the barometer for most things, but I kind of felt it too. I got the sense that maybe the story was a little overcooked by the representatives at Harry and Meghan. What was your take?
At first, I was like, come on, man, this is scary. This is not cool in any way. Then I also thought, this is New York. And even trying to walk the streets, you can't, it's very, very busy. So I guess this was in the evening, from 10 to midnight is what they were saying. I kept looking for photos and video and witness accounts and things like that online, and didn't really find anything. So there's no statement from the police, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to really get a full picture, and I'm not finding it. Now, I'm not saying it's not true. It's not to the level that they might be saying it happened, because we do know that paparazzi really do stalk the royal family to a certain degree, but I just can't find the full picture, and that is difficult.
Yeah, I was able to see a little bit of video showing them in the back of a taxi. And yes, you saw the paparazzi, obviously the flashbulbs going off quickly. Yes, you could feel that it was relentless in that sense, but it definitely not high speed, not that I could see in that little snippet. And I do believe that potentially that statement that was put out was a little strongly worded, especially because New York police themselves are saying they had a challenging time getting around, but it wasn't high speed at all, and near catastrophic. When you hear those words, you think right back to Diana. You've got to be careful with it. But then I thought, you know, Harry himself must be so traumatized by that whole incident, of course, and the death of his mother and the way that she went, and the fears that he had for Meghan staying in the royal family within the UK. And I thought, that sounds like someone who is traumatized by the past and is so fearful of it that those words came out in a statement, and they may have been a little overblown.
I mean, listen, if you go back and read the investigation on the images you just saw from 1997 in Paris, that's a high-speed pursuit.
Yes.
That you don't get the images we saw by kind of slowly plotting your way through the blocks of New York City on a busy evening. That doesn't happen. That's a high-speed pursuit. Here's my take on this. I think Prince Harry got embarrassed at that coronation. I don't think he looked great. I think that shot of him walking down that like a 3-mile aisle at Westminster Abbey was odd for him. The fact that he was 3 rows back is in their world is a pretty big insult. Not on the terrace for the photo with King Charles. That was a bit of embarrassment. And quite frankly, I think he was trying to curry some favor here. But in what we're finding out with Harry and Meghan, not with everything, because I believe what happened to Meghan with the royal family from a race standpoint very much happened. But in terms of the other aspects of what they're complaining about, there's an element to stories they put out that quite frankly aren't true. I think the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. And when you start saying that stuff about New York, people are going to call you out. People know you in New York. They're very familiar with New York. Whether it's the mayor, whether it's the police department, whether it's people in the media who actually live in the city, they know. So here's my suggestion for Harry and Meghan. Just stay in the cut for a while and just back off. Because the way this was handled on their end was not smart, and they're getting kind of destroyed for it because it wasn't true. You cannot go through a high-speed pursuit if you tried through the streets of New York City. And, you know, I'm not saying the paparazzi are always, you know, nice people, but this was not an accurate depiction of what happened. They got called out on it. I don't think there's anything more to it. So maybe just tell the spokespeople to back off for a little bit. That's my suggestion. Any other take on that? I
mean, look, the details are getting out there. Witnesses are trying to say, like, you know, they're aligned with it. They were in the SUV with the driver. They had police escort. They had to leave the SUV and go into a cab, go to the different direction, and then the cops went a different direction to try and distract. I just don't see paparazzi being that intense in New York. If this was the UK, this was in Europe, maybe. But in New York, I don't see that aggression just being able to be done.
Unless they're all UK paps.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They could have traveled.
That's the issue.
It's just weird the police didn't do
more. But they said a ring
more.
of paparazzi,
Yeah.
which also makes it sound very...
Police were right there.
Yeah,
They
that's
had
what
a
I
police
didn't
escort.
understand. Yeah.
Anyway, that's something we had to chop up. We're going to take a break. Tammy's got a news update coming up. Also coming up, while social media can be a powerful source for creativity and self-expression, it's also harming the mental health, to no one's surprise, of 1 in 2 kids. Coming up at 7:40, what Dove and Kids Help Phone are doing about it. That conversation straight ahead. You're watching BT.
What a ring, paparazzi.